Good afternoon. I'm honored that Nicole and her leadership team invited me to speak to you long distance as you all pursue this year relationships, communication, partnerships, the things that really matter to make sure that every child receives the education they deserve. So I've been asked to speak first about why relationships first, and maybe just a minute or two on putting relationships first, so you all can discuss the ways you do put relationships first, because it's a very intentional act. The why relationships first might seem apparent, but it's always good to review. As you know, over the years, I've suggested a couple of principles of learning and teaching that just essentially require we put the relationship first. Outcomes, measurements one day on a test, a good day, a good performance. All of these are wonderful, but they're not as significant or meaningful as how we feel about our entire connection and experience with each other. That's a long way of saying the relationship matters most to people. There's so many stories to this, and you can tell a few. I've read some before. Why student comes back, what they remember most. They always remember the relationship more than any specific aspect of the relationship. And they remember those when they're about the regard for each other, feeling seen, heard, growing themselves, feeling challenged, knowing that they hated being alone and were better off being together, working with you, that you noticed how often they smiled. I could go on and on with examples, but hopefully you'll give some examples of why the relationship matters most. So why relationships first is quite simple, because the relationship matters the most in learning. A couple principles I've mentioned before on this are that all learning is relational. You never have anyone learning something completely by themselves. It's not how humans work. My wife and partner Susan has been sharing with me recently some YouTube videos about babies. You can get them yourselves. They're pretty fun to share. And when we just need a break to see the magnificence of being human, we just watch some of the YouTube videos on babies and their responses. This one of a 13-month-old baby singing with her 13-week-old, whose mother is singing to her and she's singing with her and back to her. It's quite stunning, and it'll make you feel good. That's the relationship. That's how we're born. That's what makes us work. And putting that relationship first is the key to an equitable, fair, outrageously good education for everyone. It's the best way to handle the bad days, because there will be those, and the conflicts, and the times we just feel we don't know what to do. It saves us from having to be the answer for everything, having to know everything, having to have everything planned way in advance. We'll explore these later, but you know your own examples of what it's like to always feel you have to be in charge and manage the interaction. It's just so stressful and lacks in reward at so many levels. We are in a society that has gone increasingly performance-oriented, outcome-based, achievement-directed. You must be performing, achieving, doing, creating, building. Not really. What matters most is the experience of being with others, being in relationship, benefiting from that interaction, versus always trying to organize a transaction with others and getting them to do something a certain way or perform a certain way. So, all learning is relational, and the quality of that learning will always be dependent upon the quality of the relationship. And the quality relationship is one that's full of being open, available, not having to know, interested in self and others, wanting to learn with others, enjoying their company, developing a sense of belonging, inquiring into each other's experience, understanding that a relationship can teach us something as well as us teaching someone else something. I could go hours and a half in the past on all of the reasons why a quality relationship matters and what a quality relationship looks like. And it takes time to develop those. Relationships grow. They are developed intentionally. And that's why the key is keeping the relationship first. And you as a school and community are doing that. And this year, I think, is about putting the relationship first and learning how you've been doing that, how to intentionally keep doing that. So I encourage you to share with your leaders and yourselves the ways you put relationships first. And we'll be looking at that with parents. At least I'll be sharing some videos on that. You might list as this session what ways you've been putting the relationship first. Obviously, one of the more famous ones is the check-in, which I introduced in partnership with your previous school leaders. And our friends in New Zealand called it the chicken. Some of you from the study tours will remember that. So a check-in, inquiring about how people are, where they're at, activating their well-being. Those are great, necessary, and effective ways of putting the relationship first. So the relationship can be developing a connection, a sense of reciprocity, an interest in each other, which you notice on many days, where what we do with each other can inform us, help us grow, nurture our flowering, as Krishnamurti says, is the purpose of all education. So the key is keeping the relationship first. The task is putting the relationship first. That happens by understanding all the ways a quality, high quality, partnered relationship works, how it happens, and how we can promote that every day in some way. Good luck. Talk to you again soon. Wish I was there. Bye-bye.